Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Savannah Lion Games in Pooler, Georgia, where I'll be fighting a 1,000-point battle between my Dark Angels and Harris's White Scars with their new supplement. So the story that we've got going on here is that a force of the White Scars were traveling through this subsector when their librarian was communing with the storm and heard word and felt it in his bones that they needed to come to this planet to track the Great Khan. And they wasn't sure why he needed to come to this planet for it, but he was positive that this would help them in their hunt for the Great Khan to help him get back to reality and back to them. So they descended upon this planet, searching for what it was that had spoken to him through the warp. But when they arrived, a force of Dark Angel scouts who were working through this planet on the under the direction of an interrogator chaplain saw them and reported back up to the Dark Angels battle barge that they were here. And the Dark Angels on this planet on their own hunt for the fallen, unbeknownst to the scouts themselves, but known to the interrogator chaplain that was leading this, knew that if the White Scars found their quarry, that things could become very complicated. So that's when they decided to send in their force to stop them from searching this planet anymore before they could find their own quarry. So that's the story that we've got going on here. We are doing the Signal Interrupted, which is one of the Maelstrom mission number 1 from Chapter Approved 2018. Essentially what it is we draw, it's basic Maelstrom, so we've got the 6 objectives on the table over here. We draw up to 4 objectives at the beginning of each of our turns, and there's a bespoke stratagem for this mission, which is for 1 CP. You can prevent your opponent from scoring an objective on their turn. So for instance, say they were on objective number 5 and they were about to get defend objective 5. Say it was like turn 2. You could spend the 1 CP and prevent them from scoring that objective, which might give you another turn to get up there and knock him off of there, preventing them from getting the 5 points. So it's cool. It's pretty fun, and we'll see how it plays out. So that is the story. That is the mission. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the 2 armies that are going to be fighting it out. So for the Dark Angels, I'll be running a battalion detachment. Leading off that detachment, I've got an interrogator chaplain in Terminator armor and a librarian in Terminator armor. We have 3 5-man scout squads. We have a 5-man Deathwing Knight squad. We have a 5-man veteran squad with 4 meltaguns. Sergeant has a plasma pistol. We have a 5-man Devastator squad with 4 grav cannons. And last but suddenly not least, 2 drop pods. So for the White Scars, he'll be running an Outrider detachment and a Vanguard detachment. Leading off the Outrider detachment, we have a Khan on a bike. And we have 3 one-man attack bike squads, all with multi-meltas. Then for the Vanguard detachment, leading it off, we have a Librarian on a bike. Then we have 3 3-man veteran squads on bikes. Each squad has a plasma gun and a chainsword, a meltagun and a chainsword, and a power sword and a stormbolter. And last but not least, we have a 4-man veteran squad, 3 of the guys with power fists and storm shields, and the sergeant has a power sword and stormbolter. Alrighty, so those are the armies going over deployment. I've got my 3 scout squads on the table along the back here, all sitting on objectives. And that's all I've got on the table because the new rules for the drop pods say that they do not count towards tactical objectives. They clarified in the FAQ that they do have to be in by the end of turn 3, but that's all the clarification there. So they do not count against your half that has to be on the table, because the tactical reserves rule is what says that half has to be on the table. So the rest of the stuff that I have on the table are the 3 scout squads, and then I have my Deathwing Knights and my 2 HQs that are in Deep Strike. So half that count towards tactical reserves are in Deep Strike, and half are on the table. So it's kind of interesting to see how that pairs up there with the drop pod. So pretty fun, pretty cool. I like it. I think it's an interesting way to see it. And also those drop pods can come in turn 1 now, which is pretty fun. And going over deployment here for the White Scars, we've got one of his 3-man veteran squads here, one of the 3-man veteran squads here, one of the 3-man veteran squads here. We then have 1, 2, 3 of the attack bikes, and we have the Khan on the bike back over here, and the Librarian on the bike over here. He spent 1 CP on encirclement, which means that his dude bros, the other veterans, so the 4-man squad of veterans, are going to be in basically old school outflank. So essentially, they are in tactical reserve, so they can start coming in turn 2. When they come in, they have to be within 6 inches of a table edge and more than 9 inches away from an enemy model. So again, old school outflank, so it should be kind of interesting to see how that all plays out. So that is going to be it for deployment. As of right now, the Dark Angels are going to be going first, unless my opponent can seize the initiative. Looking for a 6? No, with a 3 he does not. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. All right, so the objective cards that the Dark Angels have drawn here on turn 1, I got Path of Redemption, which is I score a victory point if I destroyed a friendly Dark Angels unit charged an enemy unit with a higher power rating than their own. We got No Forgiveness, which is score a victory point if you destroy an enemy units that were controlling an objective marker at the start of the turn. Psychological Warfare, and then Priority Orders Received, which became Secure Objective 6, which means my Warlord has to score Objective 6, which is all the way in the back end zone there, and my Warlord is in Deep Strike. So not looking great for my objectives here, turn 1, so we'll see what happens.
You can have all those.
My opponent's very happy with my draw.
I'm not going to spend anything.
Yeah, so he's going to be cool. He's not going to spend anything to keep me from scoring any of these this turn. So we'll come back to you with movement phase. All right, turn 1 movement phase. My scouts all stayed still where they're at over here. But then in the game, these guys. Reserves here coming in. Drop pods are back again. Woo! All right, so drop pods coming in over here. He dropped. This one dropped over here onto objective 1. These guys disembarked, looking on all of these bros. This one dropped over here on objective 5, and these guys got out looking on these bros over here. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with my Psyker is still in reserve, so we'll come back to you with the shooting phase. Yeah. All right, so here we go. We're going to start off with this veteran squad shooting into this veteran squad. So we're going to start with the Melta-Guns there. So we're just going to have 4 shots here, hitting on 3s. Getting all hits. That's how I like to start it. Wounding on 3s. Getting 3 wounds. AP -4 is just going to go straight through. So we'll start with the first one. It's going to do dead guy, dead guy, and a dead guy. And that is first strike. All right, so now my grav cannons over here are going to fire into this squad. I gave the signum to one of the dude bros, so that's going to be the yellow one. These are going to be heavy 4, so they're going to be hitting on 4s because they moved. And 3s on the yellows. Okay, doke on those yellows. And then we've got all of those ones. Okie dokie. These are now going to be strength 5, so they're going to be wounding on 4s because they're tough 5. Yeah, the grav guns are showing exactly why you haven't seen them all this edition. Okay, dokie, that's not bad. So we got 4 wounds over here. These are going to be AP -3. Well, we got, why don't we do it 2 at a time, unfortunately, because it's D3 damage against 3-up armor saves. But 2 guys are out of cover here, so we're going to do 2 at a time. 2 fails. Okay. So we'll do the first one. D3 is going to be 1, so it's going to kill 1 guy. Yep. And then we've got 2 more. Oh, yeah, 1 at a time now because of that. 4+ is not going to save it. D3, 2 is going to wound him. And then you've got 1 more at a 5-up save. And he's good. And then he's going to fire his Storm Bolter into him. Getting 2 hits. Getting no wounds. And that is going to be it for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. I scored 0 of my objectives. I'm probably going to get rid of the priority orders received because I'm not going to be able to start until next turn, and also I don't feel like dropping my dude bro back over here. So that's going to be it for the turn here for this. So we'll come back to you with the cards drawn for the White Scars here on turn 1. All right, so the objectives drawn for the White Scars. My opponent spent a CP on Quarry of the Khan, which is essentially the first time that you draw tactical objectives. It allows you to make sure that the first one that you draw is Kingslayer instead of any others. So he spends for 1 CP, he guarantees that he gets out Kingslayer because it's pretty cool that you can do that. So he did that. He also got Secure Objective 3, Blood and Guts, and then you got Run Them Down, which is a specific one for the White Scars here. Score 1 victory point if at least one enemy model was destroyed as a result of an attack made by a White Scars model from your army that advanced this turn. So pretty awesome, especially since they have the ability to advance and shoot without penalty, advance and charge without penalty.
Stratagem to advance.
Oh, he has a stratagem that allows him to advance and shoot. So we'll see how this goes. And he advances and shoots assault weapons as well. So it's kind of interesting. It'll be cool. He's very, very mobile. It's really cool what these the new White Scars can do. So those are going to be his cards. We'll come back to you after his movement phase. All right, movement phase for the White Scars here on turn 1. This dude, bro, just moved up over this way. The Khan just moved up. Attack bike moved up. Attack bike moved up. This veteran squad moved up. This attack bike also moved up, and his librarian advanced up over here next to them over there. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so we're going to start off with Smite into this squad over here. That's going to go off with a 5, D3 mortal wounds.
Not on the table yet.
2 mortal wounds, so 2 guys dead. And now he is going to cast the Spirit of Chogoris, which is one of the new storm speaking discipline powers. Essentially, it's a warp charge of 6, but because he has the mantle of the Stormseer, which gives him +1 for casting storm speaking discipline powers, it will be a 5 that he's looking for here. It gives them -1 leadership and -1 to hit. So here we go, looking for a 5. That's going to go off with a 9. All right, so now into the shooting phase. My opponent's going to spend 1 CP on Born in the Saddle onto this dude bro here to allow him to shoot, even though he advanced. So he is going to shoot them into my his shots into my melted guys over there. He's got a Storm Bolter and a Twin Bolter here, so it's going to be 8 shots hitting on 3s. All right, we'll come back to that. Rerolling 1 because of the con. Nope, not going to be hit there. So that's going to be 5 hits here. These are going to be wounding on 4s.
Come on.
Getting 1 wound. 1 3-up armor save. Yeah, he good. Woo! And now his con is going to shoot into them over here. So here he goes with his 4 shots from his Twin Bolters. All hits because he hits on 2s. These are going to be wounding on 4s. Getting 4 wounds. He's showing him how it's done here. 3-up saves. Failed 2 of them. All right, so now this veteran squad's going to shoot the melta gun and the plasma gun are both going to go into the into my drop pod, and all the bolters are going to fire into my dude bro over here. So we're going to go with the melta gun first. That is not a hit. Now the plasma gun, not going to supercharge. Okay, that's 2 hits. Should have supercharged. 7's looking for 3s. That is going to be 2 wounds.
I totally should have.
AP -3, so looking for 6-up saves. I failed them both, so he takes 2 wounds. And now all of the bolters firing here because of bolter discipline. They are bikers, so they don't have to stay still, so they're good to go.
Zoom.
So here comes all of their shots here. So we've got 1 storm bolter and 3 twin bolters all firing in here on 3s, rerolling 1s. All right, rerolling those 2 1s. Into 2 hits, pretty good here. He only has 1 miss. Yep. These are going to be strength 4, looking for 4s to wound. Come back to that. All right, so we got 8 wounds here. These are going to be looking for 3-up armor saves. Failing 2 of them. All right, so now this veteran over here is going to fire into them. He's out of range for the reroll 1s, but he's still going to be able to hit his 8 shots. Those are going to be hitting on 3s. Alrighty. These are now going to be wounding on 4s. Getting 1 wound, 3-up save. He good. And now this attack bike is going to fire. He's going to fire the bolters into them. He's going to fire the multi-melta into my drop pod over here. So we're going to go with the multi-melta first.
On a 3 because I'm a white
On a 3 because he's a white scar. They get to shoot with all of their stuff there. It's a hit anyway. So it's going to be wounding on a 3. No wound. And now here come the bolters. Alrighty, reroll 1s because he's within range of the con there. So that's all hits.
For the con.
Wounding on 4s for the con.
For the con.
Oh man, that's what you have to scream every time now. Apparently, it's like wah. All right, so 3-up saves. Yeah. Failing 1 of them. Bunch of fill faces, but failing 1 of them. Next attack bike is going to do the exact same thing. Multi-melta is not going to hit. Rerolling 1 because of the con. Into a hit, pretty good there. 3 to wound. That is a wound. So right now, Devastator Doctrines are in effect, so all heavy weapons are an additional AP. So that's AP -5. So yeah, no save for me over here.
D6.
D6.
3.
3 damage. And here come them bolters.
Dem bolters.
Dem bolters. So that's going to be 3 hits. Wounding on 4s. Getting 2 wounds. 2 3-up serves. Oh boy, making 1. And the last one's going to fire everything into my drop pod over here. So here comes the Multimelta. That is going to hit with a 6. And then it's going to be wounding on a 3.
Somewhere that's not. By
Yeah, there we go. Away
tower.
from the water tower. Into a wound. AP -5. That's just going to go straight through. D6 damage. Doing 2 damage. And here come the bolter shots. It's going to be 3 hits. Strength 4, so 5s to wound. Getting 1 wound. 3-up armor save. Yeah, he good. Alrighty, so now we're going to go into the assault phase. This squad here is going to declare a multi-charge against my drop pod and against my my marine over here. So my opponent's going to spend 1 CP for fierce rivalries. Essentially, the first unit that charges in your assault phase for 1 CP, it allows them to assault with a 3d6 charge instead of just the 1. So we're going to go into Overwatch now. We're going to go with my Melta guy first. Does not hit. Then we're going to have the Stormbolter attacking over here. Gets 1 hit, but does not wound. So now 3d6 on this charge. Ooh, with a 10-inch charge. They are going to be in. So there they are in there. And now his Librarian is going to charge into my Melta Bro over here because they are white. The reason he can charge, he did advance. The reason he can charge is because White Scar's chapter tactic allows them to advance. Lets them charge if they've advanced or fallen back. So here we go.
Always getting that charge.
Always getting that charge. And he's going to be in with an 8. And now his attack bike here is going to charge into my Grav guy over here. So I'm going to fire Overwatch, looking for 6s. Oh, getting 2 6s. That's what I like to see. That's why the attack bike went first. Strength 5, toughness 5, looking for 4s to wound. That's going to be 1 wound. AP -3, so 6-up save. No, not going to make it. D3 damage because he's got a 3-up armor save. 2 damage. That's why the attack bike went first, because he's still got 2 wounds left and can make this charge still. And with a 6-inch charge, maybe. All right, so now the Con is going to charge into my Grav Bro and into my drop pod over here. So we're going to go with the Grav guy's shots first. Getting no hits there. And then we're going to go into the drop pod shots here. Getting 1 hit. Getting no wound. So his charge distance with a 7 inches will get him into at least 1. And then this guy here is going to charge into the Grav guy over there. So his charge distance, 6 inches will get him in. All right, so we're going to start out the fight phase with his Bike-Brarian over here, who's going to attack into my Melta Bro. So he's going to have 4 attacks here because he's got +1 to the charge because of the new shock assault with all Marines get here. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. Getting all hits. Wounded on 3s because he's got a Force Staff over there. So that is going to be 3 wounds. AP -1, correct?
I believe so.
Yes. Yeah. So 3.
Yeah, it's AP -1, D3 damage.
D3 damage, so 4-up saves. Failed at 1, and he is dead.
On 5s.
All right, so now these dude bros here are going to attack into my drop pod. So we've got the guys with the Melta gun and the plasma gun. They've got chain swords, so they're going to have 2 attacks base because they're veterans, +1 because of the chain sword, +1 because of shock assault. So here we go. 4 attacks each, 8 attacks hitting on 3s.
Pretty good.
Pretty good there. So these are now going to be strength 4, looking for 5s to wound.
That's good.
Getting nothing. And now his veteran sergeant over here has got 3 attacks base, +1 for shock assault, and he's got a power sword, so he's going to be attacking into my dude bro.
Awfully like a chainsword.
Looks awfully like a chainsword. These are going to be hitting on 3s, so he's got 2 hits, wounding on 5s. That's going to be 1 wound. AP -3 is looking for a 6-up save. No, that's going to go through. And now this veteran sergeant who's left here is going to attack into my Grav guy, so he's got the same 4 attacks. Hitting on 3s, that's all hits. Wounding on 4s. That is going to be 2 wounds there. 2 6-up saves. No, failed them both. He is dead. All right, so now the con is going to attack because he piled in. He declared both of them as a charge and then piled in, got within an inch of my drop pod here. He's got the con spear, which is usually strength user, AP -3, D3 damage. But on a turn which he charged or heroically intervened, it's strength ×2. So he's going to be hitting here, hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s because of himself. And these are now going to be strength 8, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting 1 wound. Oh boy. AP -3 is going to be looking for a 6-up save. No, D3 damage. 3 damage. All right, and that's going to be it for the White the White Skurs turn here on turn 1. Because my drop pods, they have 0 attacks, so they're just going to be sitting there, just getting pummeled on my turn, which is always fun. So that's when they're going to be there. Going over the cards that my opponent got, he did get Blood and Guts, and he got Run Them Down. Was able to get that with the when his librarian killed my Melted Bro.
Killed that guy.
And then Blood and Guts, he killed at least 1. He ended up killing 2. He really wanted to kill one of those drop pods to get him 3, but you know, it is what it is. So that's 2 points there for him. He also got First Strike, which I think I forgot to mention there, but you'll see. You'll see when it happens there. So that is going to be it for the White Scar's turn here on turn 1. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 2. Alrighty, so that's going to be it. The cards that I draw here. I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. The cards that I drew now. So I still got the 3 that I had before, and then I drew Mission Critical Objective, rolled and got 4 on that, which is the one that one of my scouts is on there. So we'll come back to you after movement phase. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels. My scouts are still staying still where they are, holding down their objectives. And then from Deep Strike, in comes everybody else. So my Librarian dropped in over here, Chaplain dropped over here, and then my Deathwing Knights dropped in over here. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the Psychic phase. All right, starting off the Psychic phase, I am going to cast Righteous Repugnance onto my Deathwing Knights over there. So looking for a 7 for this to go off. Does go off with a 7. Do you want to try to deny it? That's reroll all hits and wounds with them in the fight phase. 1 second. All right, so my opponent's not going to try to deny that, but now I am going to cast Smite onto his con over here. That's cocked right there. Not gonna go off. All right, so now both of these guys are gonna fire into his veteran over here. Gonna be firing both their Storm Bolters. These are gonna be hitting on 3s. Okay. Yeah, this is going to go away at this point. Nothing really matters for that one.
You're probably not using
Probably not going to use it. No, we got 4 here. Wounding on 5s. Boy. All right, so now we're going to go into the assault phase. We're going to start with my Deathwing Knights are going to charge into his company veterans over here. They are currently engaged with my drop pod over there, so they cannot fire Overwatch. So here comes their charge. They need a 9-inch charge to get in. Oh, not going to make it, but I'm going to spend a CP to re-roll this. Looking for a 4-up. Come on, 50-50. Yeah, with the Filfers. Woo! Now my Librarian is going to charge into his con, who is is engaged with my drop pod, so he cannot fire Overwatch. 9-inch charge. Not going to make it. And then my Chaplain's going to do the exact same thing. Not going to make it. All right, so we're going to start in the fight phase with my Deathwing Knights into his company veterans over here. So we're going to go with the Maces first. They've got 2 attacks each base, plus 1 because of Shock Assault now. So these are going to have 12 attacks from them, hitting on 3s because of just them being hitting on 3s. All right, re-rolling everything because of the, Righteous Repugnance. I am righteously repugned over here. These are now going to be strength 8 because of strength ×2. So these are going to be wounding on 3s. Re-rolling because of righteous repugnance. All right, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wounds. These are AP -2, so 10 5-ups. Yeah, no, there's 3 of them. They're dead. Oh. All right, so now the con, they're not going to pile in. They're just going to stay where they are. I don't feel like taking extra hits when he's just going to fall back and they're going to do whatever they're going to do to me. Anyway, so now the con is going to attack into my dude bro over here. Hitting on 2s. So that is all hits. Wounding on 5s because it's just strength user now because He didn't charge, but wow, that's how you do that.
Wow, so much better than
last turn. So that's 3 AP minus 3, so 6 up saves. And I failed them all, so he is dead. Does he explode? Yeah, he does. Drop pods don't explode. Womp womp. All right, so that's going to be it for the Dark Angels turn 2 here. I did score some objectives. I do have mission critical objective number 4. I do have Path to Redemption because my Deathwing Knights are power level 12. His veterans were power level 14. So that gets me that point. And I don't think I got any of the other ones. I'm going to get rid of psychological warfare because, I mean, this is not going to happen. So that's what we're going to have. So that's going to be it for the Dark Angels here on turn 2. We'll come back to you with the cards drawn for the White Scars on turn 2. All right, so he still has Kingslayer and Secure Objective 3, and then he drew Psychological Warfare and Area Denial. So we'll come back to you after the movement phase for the White Scars here on turn 2. All right, movement phase for the White Scars here on turn 2. His Librarian advanced over here. His Con moved up over around here. This guy pretty much stood state. He just moved normal over around this way, and these guys all moved normal 12 inches away from a dude rose over here. And then his other guys came in from outflank, or was it encirclement or something? Encirclement over there. So they're within 6 inches of there and more than 9 inches away from my dude bros. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so we're going to start off with him casting Spirit of Chogoris onto my Interrogator Chaplain over here. So he needs a 5 to go off. So that's going to go off with a 10. I'm going to try to...
11 with Mantle.
So it gives you +1 to... 1 second. It's actually going to be an 11 because he gives him +1 to casting those. So I'm going to let that go for that one. And now he is going to smite him. Does not go off on a 4.
Objective 3 ones.
All right, so we're going to start off with these guys over here. They're going to shoot into these scouts over here, sitting on this objective over here. So because they are bikers, they get bolter discipline, so they're going to have rapid fire here. So these are going to be 4 shots from each of them, except for the one guy with a storm bolter, which is an additional 4 shots. So 20 shots total coming in over here.
And Tactical Doctrine's active, so they're
Tactical Doctrine is active now, so they're going to be AP -1 because of that. So starting on turn 2, you can activate Tactical Doctrine. These are hitting on 3s. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, shoot these scoops.
And Strength 4, looking for 4s to wound. Come back to you with that. All right, so there's 8 wounds over there. They're going to be AP -1 +1 because they're in cover. So looking for 4 up saves. Failing 1, 2, 3 of them. And now the Con is going to shoot into my Chaplain over there. So he's going to be -1 to hit because he has the Shroud of Heroes. Shroud of Heroes. So
I'm Mantle, you're
you've got Mantle, I've got Shrouds. Hitting on 3s. 3s. AP, yeah, -1 to hit.
Yep.
All right, so that's going to be 3 hits. These are going to be wounding on 5s. Oh, no, 4s. So that's going to be 1 -1. So looking for a 3 up save because he's got Terminator armor. No, takes a wound. All right, so now we're going to start over here. These guys are going to fire into here. We're going to start one at a time, actually. So this guy over here is going to fire into him. So we're going to start with the Melter first. Hitting on a 3. That's a hit. Wounding on a 2. That's a wound. AP -4 because it's back down from -5 that it was, but it's going to be a 3 up invul save because of Storm Shields. And he's good. Woo! And here comes his bolter shots.
3s and 4s.
3s. That's going to be 3 hits. Wounded on 4s.
And they're AP -1.
Alrighty, so that's 2 at AP -1. So these are going to be looking for 3 up saves. Failing 2 of them. One's dead. Ugh.
So much bolter vomit.
And now the second guy is going to go over here.
Hitting on a 3.
Hitting on a 3 with his Melta. No hits. So then we've got 4 shots from his twin bolter.
So we can repeat the last one.
Yeah. These are the ones that matter. Alrighty. 1 hit. No wound. And last but not least, this guy over here is going to do the exact same thing. Missed. No hit on the Melta, and then 4 shots from the bolter. Getting 1 hit. That's a wound. 3 up. Nope, taking a wound. And then this guy's going to fire his bolters into them as well. Alrighty. Hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s.
AP -1.
Getting 1, 2, 3, 4. At AP -1, 3 up saves. Failing 1.
Killed another.
All right, so that's going to be it for the shooting phase. Into the assault phase, we're going to start with these guys. Charge into here. My opponent's going to spend his last CP on Fierce Rivalry, so he's going to have his 3d6 charge into them. They are going to fire Overwatch. They did not move in their movement phase, so they're going to have the Bolter Discipline Rapid Fire rule, so we're going to have 10 shots coming in here, hitting on 6s. Rerolling 1s to hit because of Grim Resolve. Nope, just getting that 1. But it's not going to wound there, so they have 3d6 charge, looking for a 9-inch charge. And they are in, but he needed that 3d6, so it's a good thing you spent that point. So now the Khan is going to charge into my Chaplain over here. Overwatch, no hits there. Here comes his charge distance. 7 inches should get him in. And now the Librarian is going to charge into my Chaplain over here. He's in. Alrighty, so now we're going to go into the fight phase here. His Khan is going to start us off attacking into my Chaplain. He's going to be having, 5 attacks because of shock assault. So that's going to be 5 attacks because of shock assault over here. These are going to be hitting on 3s, though, because of him having the Shroud of Heroes. And it's going to be, so hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of himself. Yep. All right, all hits. Doesn't make a difference there. So these are going to be strength times 2 on the charge, so strength 8, looking for 2s to wound. That is going to be all but 1 wound, so that's going to be 4 wounds here. These are going to be AP minus 3, so he's going to be looking for his 4-up Rosaria save. Did he pray to the Emperor? No, he has not.
4D
as long as one of these is D2, 2. Yeah, okay, yeah, he is dead, and that is Slay the Warlord. All right, so now his veterans over here are going to attack into my scouts. So we're going to go with the Power Fist first. They got 2 attacks base each, plus 1 because of Shock Assault. Hitting on 4s because of -1 to hit because of being Power Fist. And these are now going to be squishing on 2s. That's going to be 4 dead. And the Sergeant's got a Power Sword. Hitting on 3s, that's 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. He is dead with that.
You're only AP1.
Alrighty, so now my my Librarian, he consolidated into my Librarian over here after attacking me. So now I'm going to attack back. I've got 3 attacks base. I do not get the benefit of Shock Assault because I did not charge. I was not charged, and I was not did not heroically intervene. So he just piled into me, which is not going to give it to me. Yeah, exactly. The leftovers over here. So he's only got his 3 attacks. So these are going to be 3 attacks hitting on 3s. That is going to be all hits. Strength plus 2, so strength 6, wounding on 2s. That is wound on 3, so that's going to be 3 wounds though. These are going to be AP -1, but he's got what is it called? The Buckler. So he's going to have a 2-up armor save in close combat, which becomes a 3-up armor save. So 3 3-ups makes all but 1. So that's going to be D3 damage, 2 damage. Alrighty, so that is going to be it for the turn here. I do have a leadership test take over there. He lost 3 guys there, so 3 plus 5 is good to go because it's just enough to get with my Sergeant there, so he's good to go there. And that is going to be it. So we'll come back to you with the cards that he scored.
Objective.
All right, so my opponent got secure objective 3 when his bikes went onto the back and killed all my scouts over there. And then he got Kingslayer, so Kingslayer's D3. Getting him additional 1 there. So 1 whole point there. So he's going to have an additional 2 points, bringing him to, what is that, 5, including first strike there. And he's going to get rid of psychological warfare because that just doesn't happen with with Marines, especially in min squad Marines very much. So that is going to be it for the White Scar's turn here. We'll come back to you with a card drawn for the Dark Angels. Alrighty, so I still had no forgiveness, and then I drew not 1 step back. So when this tactical objective is generated, secretly choose either your next turn, your next 2 turns, or your next 3 turns. Score 1 D3 or D3 plus 3 victory points respectively if this tactical objective is still active at the end of the turn you choose. This tactical objective is immediately discarded if the battle ends or any friendly Dark Angels unit falls back or fails a morale test. So I am going to choose that so my opponent doesn't get to know, but you guys all know. Then I got Kingslayer and behind enemy lines. So that's what we've got going on here. So we'll come back to you after movement phase. All right, movement phase. My 2 scout squads stayed where they were. These guys moved towards his Librarian over here, and he stayed in combat with the Khan. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so starting off the psychic phase, he is going to cast Righteous Repugnance onto my knights over there. That is going to go off with a 10. Do you want to try to deny that? Nope, he's going to let that happen, and then I am going to cast Smite onto his Khan over here. Goes off with an 8, plus 1 because of Psychic Hood.
I got a 10 on the dice.
10 on the dice, so he is denied. All right, so into the shooting phase. We're going to start with my drop pod, shooting into his librarian over here within 12 inches. Hitting on 3s. Wounding on 5s. No wounds. All right, so now my scout squad's going to fire into him over here. They're going to be minus. They've got the bolter beta, the better bolter beta rule. It's not a beta anymore. So, but I still like saying it because it's funny. The bolter rule here is going to be firing into him, so they're going to have all rapid fire because they didn't move. But they're also going to be -1 to hit because he's got, what is it? Skilled rider? Not skilled rider. Expert rider, which is his is it his warlord trait? Warlord trait. So since he advanced, all attacks against him are -1 to hit. So he's going to be hitting on 4s. Rerolling 1s because of Grim Resolve. All right, reroll that 1 because of Grim Resolve. Nope, not meant to be. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. Looking for 5s to wound. All right, so that's going to be 2 wounds, 2 3-up armor saves. Making them both. And now these scouts here are going to fire into his bikers over there. So it's going to be 4 shots because of the better bolter rule. Hitting on 3s because they don't have expert rider. But those 2 1s will not wound them. All right, so into the assault phase now. These guys are going to charge into his librarian over here. So Overwatch from the librarian. Getting 3 hits. These are going to be
1-1 to reroll.
1-1 to reroll. Nope. So that's going to be 3 hits. 4s to wound.
Stop throwing my dice around.
Stop throwing them. Getting 2 wounds. -1, so 3-up saves. Failed 1 of them, and then their charge distance is totally in. All right, so at the beginning of the fight phase, I'm going to spend 1 CP for Fortress of Shields onto this squad over here. So he's going to be -1 to wound against them, which is pretty good. So we've got the 2 guys there with the maces. They're going to have 3 attacks each because of Shock Assault. These are going to be hitting on 3s.
4s.
Hitting on 4s because of that, but re-rolling all failed wound rolls. Failed hit rolls because of Righteous Repugnance. All right, so that's going to be not that 3 because of the -1 to hit him. These are now going to be wounding on 3s because it's strength 8. That's going to be all wounds there, so that's going to be 3, 4, 5 wounds at AP -3. Or AP -2, so 5-up saves. No, making one of them, so 4 times 3 is 12 damage? Yeah, he is dead. And that is Slay the Warlord. And now I'm going to activate my librarian into him. So it's going to be 3 attacks. Hitting on 3s. Getting 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. No wounds there. All right, so now his con is going to attack into my librarian over here. So he's going to have 4 attacks hitting on 2s. That's rerolling 1s because of himself. Yeah. That is 4 hits. These are going to be strength 4, so 4s to wound. Getting 1 wound, AP -3, so 5-up save. No, that's going to go through for D3 damage. For 2 damage. All right, so now I'm going to spend 3 CP for Honor the Chapter, which will allow my Librarian to attack into his con. I can't activate them into the con because they charged and he wasn't one of their targets for the charge. So they cannot attack anyone they didn't declare as a charged target. So it's going to have to be my Librarian here who is going to attack into him for a second time with Honor the Chapter. So 3 attacks hitting on 3s. That is going to be 2 hits. These are going to be wounding on 3s. That is going to be 2 wounds, AP -1, so he's going to have a 3-up save. Makes them both. All right, so that's going to be it for the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 3. I am going to score Kingslayer for killing his warlord there, so I'm going to roll to see if what I get. So it's D3 victory points. Getting 1 victory point for that. Cool, cool, cool. And then I'm going to get rid of behind enemy lines. My guys are just too slow to get over there. So that's going to be it for the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 3. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the White Scars on turn 3. All right, so my opponent still has area denial. Then he drew secure objective 4, secure objective 2, and domination. So we'll come back to you after his movement phase. All right, movement phase for the White Scars here on turn 3. His con fell back out of combat over to here. He can't shoot, but he can still charge, which is what they can do when they fall back, which is pretty good. These guys moved back from objective 3 over to this way. These 2 attack bikes moved up over here. This attack bike moved back over there onto objective 2, and this guy moved up onto objective 1. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the Psyker's dead, so we'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, we're going to start off with his guy back over here. Is going to fire into my drop pod, so we'll go with the multi-melter first.
On 3.
Hitting on 3 because he doesn't suffer the penalty. That's a hit.
On 3.
That is a wound. AP -4 is going to go straight through, doing 1 damage. And here come the Volters.
Drop pod that would not die.
Will not die. That is a wound.
1.
No, not a save. All right, so now his next guy is going to fire the multi-melter into the drop pod and the bolters into my knights over here. So the multi-melter is going to hit, is not going to wound, and then you've got your 4 shots from your bolters, sir.
Drop pod.
The drop pod is the bane of your existence.
2 hits.
2 hits. These are going to be wounding on 4s. Getting 1 wound. AP -1. 3-up save. Yeah, he's good, finally.
First.
And here he goes again. Multi-melter. Bolters. Multi-melter first.
Miss.
That is not a hit. So now the bolters get to fire. The drop pod does not want to die.
It really does.
Oh, that's going to cock you up. So that's going to be 3 hits. These are going to be wounding on 4s. That is going to be 2 wounds. AP -1. 3-ups. No, 1 dead. All right, so now his dude bro here is going to put his twin bolters into my knights. Storm bolter into the drop pod. So we'll do the ones into the drop pod first. Hitting on 3s, getting 3 hits.
Wounding on 5s.
Wounding on 5s.
Nothing.
No wounds. And then into my knights over here. 3s. That's going to be 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. That's going to be 2 wounds.
2 3-ups.
And 2 saves. So now these guys are going to fire. The sergeant's going to put his storm bolter and his twin bolters into my drop pod, and then the other 3 guys are going to put their twin bolters into my Deathwing Knights over here. So we're going to go with the sergeant first. So 8 shots.
Hitting on 3s.
Hitting on 3s.
A bunch of 1s and 2s.
There we go. So now we got
That's
4
how
hits.
we do.
5s to wound. Oh
1.
boy, you got the 1. 1 4-up save. Can he do it? No, he finally dies. And then the 12 shots into my Deathwing Knights over here. Hitting on 3s. Alrighty. And then these are going to be wounding on 4s. That's going to be 3 there. So 3 AP -1 because he's still got the tactical doctrine. So wounding on, looking for, whatchamacallit? 3-ups, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Failed one of them. All right, into the assault phase now. His con is going to charge into my scouts. 4 of them can see him, so they're going to fire Overwatch here. Hitting on 6s. Re-rolling 1s because of Grim Resolve. So that's going to be 3 hits here. These are going to be wounding on 5s. Getting, 3 wounds. 3-up saves.
Yep.
The buckler's only in close combat. Yep. Oh, but he makes them all. Alrighty. And his charge distance is way in. And then these guys are going to charge into my dude bros over here. Overwatch. Getting 1 hit. Getting 1 wound. And making a save, and their charge distance is way in. All right, so the con is going to start us off over here. So he has 4 attacks base plus 1 because of shock assault over here. So these are going to be hitting on 2s. Rerolling 1s because of himself. All right, that's all hits. Strength times 2, so wounding on 2s. Or murdering because it's AP -3.
Yep.
Killing on 2s. That's all of them dead. Chickens, no! And now these guys are going to attack into my scouts. So power fist first. Hitting on 4s. All right, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 hits.
5 hits.
5 hits. Yep. Killing on 2s. Yeah, they did. And that will be it for the White Scar's turn here on turn 3. So we'll come back to you with the cards that he scored. My opponent scored Area Denial, but only the smaller one, so he scored 1 point for that. He also got Secure Objective 4 and Secure Objective 2, bringing him up to 8 points total. And he got rid of Domination because he's only got 6 units left, and one of them is a 1-model unit that's probably going to get beat up this next turn. So that's going to be it for that. We'll come back to you with the cards drawn for the Dark Angels. All right, so I still got no forgiveness, not one step back. Then I drew no prisoners, so score 1 victory point if an enemy unit was destroyed during your turn. Between 3 and 5 enemy units, D3, and if 6 or more, D3 plus 3. So I would have to kill everybody to get the D3 plus 3. And then we've got secure objective 2, score 1 victory point if you control objective marker 2 at the end of your turn. So that's going to be it for the cards drawn for the Dark Angel. We'll come back to you after movement phase. All right, my movement phase, my librarian moved up over here. My Deathwing Knights moved up over here. And that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the Psychic phase. All right, so Psychic phase, we're going to start with Righteous Repugnance onto my Deathwing Knights. That's going to go off with an 8, and his Psyker is dead, so no more than 9. And then he is going to smite into his dude bro over here. Double 1s. I'm going to spend a CP to reroll that. Into a 4. That's cocked. Hold on. Into a 2. So it doesn't go off, but I don't blow myself up. So I will take that as a happy, happy medium there. All right, so into the shooting phase. My Librarian's going to shoot into his dude bro over here. He's going to get 3 hits. Wounding on 5s. That is going to be 1 wound. No save. Oh, yeah, no save because he's a biker in there. Yep. All right, that's it for shooting phase. So into the assault phase, these guys are going to charge into both of his bikers over here. Do you want to fire Overwatch, please? We'll do the 2 multi-melters first. May as well. Okay.
1 in the 3.
1 in the 3, so no hits there. And then we'll come back to you with the bolter shots. And the 8 bolter shots coming in here. Getting 2 hits.
It's enough to kill a guy.
That is enough to kill a guy there. Getting 1 wound. It's still enough to kill a guy over there. 3-up save. No, I'm going to spend a CP to reroll this because that's stupid to die that way. Oh, with that fill phase, I'll take it. And now their charge is way in. And then my Librarian's going to charge into his veteran over here. 8 shots. Getting 2 hits. Getting 2 wounds. AP -1, so looking, but in cover, so looking for 2-up armor save. Making them both, and then his charge distance is way in. All right, so now my Librarian's going to start us off in the fight phase. He's going to attack into his dude bro here, so he's going to have 4 attacks because of shock assault now that he's actually charged. So he's going to be hitting on 3s. This is the first time he's gotten it. He just kept getting piled in or stuck in combat over there. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. That is going to be 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. That is going to be 2 wounds. 4-up saves. Nope. Fails 1, so he is dead. All right, so now my Deathwing Knights are going to attack. He's going to put his attacks into this squad. He's going to put his attacks into these squads. So we'll go with the guy with the mace first. 3 attacks because of shock assault, hitting on 3s. That is going to be 1 hit. Wounding on a 3. Actually, you know what? I'm going to spend a CP to reroll one of those. Into a hit, so it's going to be 2 hits, wounding on 3s. Oh, 1 wound there. 5-up save? Nope. No save. Sorry, they did get Righteous Repugnance off. It was the smite that failed there. So we're going to reroll that first hit that failed there that I didn't. So I'm not going to spend the CP on that. I just had that reroll. So we'll reroll the other hit into another hit. So then we've got this regular wound from that 1 hit is a wound. AP -2. Is good for that one, but then the reroll the wound on the other failed wound into a wound and into another save. That's what he needed, so he's good to go.
The internet was pleased.
And then he is going to attack in with his Flail of the Unforgiven, rerolling failed hits because of Righteous Repugnance, wounding on strength +2, so 3s to wound, rerolling failed wounds. That's cocked. All right, so that's going to be 2 at AP -3, so 6-up saves. No, failed them both. That's 2 damage. He is dead. And now he gets to attack back into me, so he's got 2 attacks base +1 because he was charged with shock assault, getting 1 hit. That is a wound.
2-up.
And he's good. All right, so that's going to be it for the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 4. I've only got 2 CP left because I had to spend that 1 CP to reroll that save to keep him alive in the charge. And that is going to be it. So that's going to come back to you with the cards that I scored. All right, so I scored no forgiveness. I also scored no prisoners, but just the basic one because of those super saves at the end there to keep his dude bro alive. So that is going to be it, and I'm going to get rid of secure objective 2 because I just don't think I'm ever going to get back to that part. So we'll come back to you with the cards drawn for the White Scars here on turn 4. All right, so my opponent drew advance. Score 1 victory point if no unit from your army is within your deployment zone at the end of your turn. Score 1 victory point if at least one enemy character was destroyed during this turn. So he's going to, that's for assassinate. Defend objective 6, and then he's got the clean kill. When this tactical objective is generated, select one enemy unit on the battlefield. If possible, this must be a unit that has not suffered any wounds. Score D3 victory points if that unit is destroyed as a result of an attack made by a White Scars model from your army this turn. If this tactical objective is not scored this turn, discard it. So, my opponent is going to double down with Assassinate and declare my Librarian as his target for the clean kill. Because everyone's got, all the units have wounds, so there's none that have not suffered any wounds there. So he's going to double down, declare my my Librarian, and see how that all pans out. So we'll come back to you after his movement phase. All right, movement phase for the White Scars as the snare closes upon the Dark Angels here. This guy fell back from his battle with the Deathwing Knights over there. His Khan advanced up over this way. He just moved up or advanced? Just moved up. Just moved up over here. And then these guys just moved up over here. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so now his attack bike is going to attack into here. Still saying the tactical doctrine, because you don't have to change it if you don't want to. You just can start changing it as they go on. But you cannot go back is what it comes down to. So he's staying with tactical doctrine here. So now these guys are going to fire everything into here. So we're going to go with the bolters first. Hitting on threes. That is going to be one hit.
Woof.
And no wound on there. And then you got the multi-melta.
Yep. I want to spend a whole multi-melt on a one wound model.
That's a hit. That's a wound. 3-up invul save. Yeah, with the filfers. Woo! And now this squad over here is going to fire everything into my Deathwing Knights over there. So we're going to have 20 bolter shots into him over there. Come back to that. And then 4s to wound. Come back to you with that. 7 wounds onto them over there. AP -1 because of tactical doctrine. Looking for 3-up saves. Failing 2 of them. Ugh. All right, so starting off the assault phase now, these guys are going to charge into my Deathwing Knight over there. Cannot fire Overwatch, so their charge distance of 6 inches will get them in. Now the attack bike is going to charge into him. He's in. And now the Khan is going to attack, charge into my dude bro over here. Storm bolter shots. Getting 1 hit. That is not a wound. His charge distance is in. And now the attack bike's going to charge in. He is way in. Well, not way in, but in. That's all that matters. All right, so into the fight phase, he's going to start with the Khan here, attacking into my Librarian. So he's going to have 5 attacks on the charge here, hitting on 2s. Rerolling nothing, because he doesn't need to. And then wounded on 2s. That is going to be all wounds. So that's going to be 5 6-up, or 5 5-up armors, invul saves, because he's got Terminator armor there. 5-ups. No, I failed 3, which is enough to kill him there. He did. Alrighty, so I am going to spend my last 2 CP to interrupt because otherwise he is dead. So he's going to put all his attacks onto the bikers over here. So he's going to have 4 attacks because of whatchamacallit. What's the thing called?
Shock attack.
Shock attack over there. No, yeah, shock assault. So he's going to have 4 attacks here because of shock assault, because he was charged there. These are going to have, so these are going to be hitting on 3s. Re-rolling because of Righteous Repugnance. That goes until my next Psychic phase. So that's going to be 3 hits. Much better. I'll take that. These are now going to be Strength +2, so these are going to be wounding on 3s. Re-rolling because of Righteous Repugnance. So that's going to be all these. AP -3. So these are going to be on Storm Shields. 3-ups. Failing 1. That's going to be 2 damage. So that's going to be 1 dead guy. All right, so now we're going to go over here. He's going to activate his veteran squad. We're going to go with the Power Fist first. So there's 2 guys left with those. 3 attacks each because of Shock Assault. Hitting on 4s.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good. These are going to be wounding on 2s. That is going to be 3 wounds. 3-up invul saves because of Storm Shields. Oh, and he makes them all. Woo! And now the Sergeant has his 4 attacks in. That's going to be 3 hits.
Yep, 4s.
Wounding on 4s. Getting 1, 2 wounds. 2 3-up invul saves. No, and I failed that one, so he is dead.
And there's no sudden death.
All right, so I have no more models on the table, but because this is a chapter approved mission, sudden death is not applicable to this mission. So the game is not technically over. This is all going to come down to who can get these objectives the way they need them. So we'll now come back to you with the cards that he scored on this turn 4. All right, so my opponent got Advance, Assassinate, and Clean Kill. Scored all of those ones, so he scored D3 victory points for the Clean Kill because he scored that one. For 3 points, that's real good. Yep. That's real good for that one. And he's going to get rid of Defend Objective 6. So we'll come back to you with the cards that I drew for the Dark Angels. All right, so I still had not one step back. I drew Domination, Defend Objective 5, and Secure Objective 5. So I'll get rid of Domination at the end of my turn because I've got nothing that I can do there. So that's going to be the Dark Angels turn 5. All right, so my opponent drew Defend Objective 5, Overwhelming Firepower, Witch Hunter, and Defend Objective 1. So the only ones he can possibly try for are Defend Objective 5 and Defend Objective 1, which he will now come back to after his movement phase. So movement phase, he stayed on 1 here. These guys hopped on 5. He advanced up over here, and then the Khan advanced up over here. So that's his movement phase. So at the end of his turn, he started on 5 and 1 for Defend. So now we have to roll to see if we go on to a turn 6. So if you can roll the D6. On a 1, no! That's how this game is going to end at the end of turn 5, which means I don't score my 1 step back. That's what I was hoping for. So we'll come back to you with the final scores here for the Maelstrom objectives. All right, so at the end of the game, my Dark Angels scored 9 points. My opponent scored 15 points, so a victory for the White Scars here. That was a lot closer than it seemed. You know, when it came down to it at the end there, just being off by 6 points, which I could have gotten if it just went into turn 6. But I guess you would have had another 4 points because you would have had those 2 on my turn. But still, regardless, it was still pretty close how that all panned out there. So, but a ton of fun. It was really cool to see all the new White Scars stratagems and the White Scars objectives that they had going on, and the psychic powers that they have going on, and the con, and all these new different things, which was super awesome to see how that all plays out with the new White Scars. I think they've got a pretty awesome little supplement there. I think it's really, really cool to see how it all works out. And especially now that they FAQ'd all of the characters on bikes from the index to allow them to get that, so that his veterans on the bike. So you may not see them, see an army like this in competitive play now because of the legacy issue that's going to be coming up, but it's still cool to see on the table and see them how they play here. This is like a true White Scars army doing really awesome stuff, which is a lot of fun. So it was cool to see that, and it was fun to see drop pods actually do a thing now. So it was fun to see them coming in turn 1 again, making them relevant again, and see how you can play with things like just having the 3 scouts on the table there to allow most of my army to deep strike, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so I think that was didn't quite work out this time, but you know, you can see how it could play out. So maybe next time we'll see how it goes. So but a ton of fun. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. My opponent's been Harris, and until next time, have fun.